We have a few more getting our refreshments, so we'll wait another minute or two. Can you hear me? You can't hear. How's that? I can hear me. Maybe nobody else can, but I can hear me. Glad to see you all enjoying the refreshments. Thanks to Lucy doing her usual baking. Okay, I think we've got everybody in. Let's start with a prayer. Dear Father, what a feeling of peace comes over us each time we come to you in prayer. Our requests, our concerns, our needs grow as we increase the size of our circle to include our country, our city, our church, our family and friends. But this month, this day, we come with gratitude for our many blessings that you have given that surround us. Open our eyes that we may see. So many that come, many blessings from our relationship with you. Let us focus on the good in this moment in time. And bless Reverend Simpson as he shares with us. Bless those that are not with us today and those that are. And in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Jane. Where's Jane? I'm not seeing her right now. Okay. We'll go on. That's all right. Shelley, do you have anything?
I'm right here.
There you are. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Just any books that you read that you would like to suggest the titles, please send them my way. We already have some great books, book ideas for next year. So just let me know if there's a book you'd like to share with the group. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. She's busily working on next year.
Yeah,
This is good. Okay, before we go on with reports, we do have a few guests today, and I'm going to let them, but first I'm going to start with Girraffes. Mary Klein, would you stand up for us and show you? And anyone else that has giraffes on, stand up. Come on. I think this is the first time I can ever remember. We've had characters from our book, actually people dressing for that. I think it's great. And we have one other guest. Becca, would you like to introduce your guest? And it's okay that you don't have a giraffe on. It's all right.
I'd like to meet my friend Sandy Boyd. This is her first time to be here.
We ask for you that if you'd like to be sure and put your name on the sheet back there so that Ellen with publicity will include you on notices that come out, things about the meeting, what the books are about and everything. So if you'd like to, be sure and just leave your name. And we'd love to see you both back again. I am going to call Ellen at this moment to come up and give us a report.
Good afternoon. I have an update on our book, our 50th anniversary commemorative edition book. It's called Then and Now, Words Matter. This is the proof we just got from the printer of the cover. And it's going to be a lovely gift book, 7x7, little gift book, exactly this size, 7x7, with the spine in the back. And it's just going to be a lovely Christmas book. We're going to have a prayer of the month. We're going to have all the content that I presented month over month of what happened here at the church, the different youth events, the different dinners, speakers, events. All that's in there, plus a prayer of the month and the hymn of the month. I was just going with Pat Brodino with it was difficult to pick a prayer of the month and the hymn of the month, but we are taking donations. It's a donation to the church. So your check would be made payable to First Presbyterian Church, but in the note, you need to say donation for the Literature Circle book or Then and Now book. You need to indicate it. There's a special account. Bill Sirakos has just jumped up and helped us so much. He set up an account just for this. So thank you all for your generosity in advance. We should have the books December 9. It's been extremely delayed. Remember, we wrapped this up in May, and Dorothy has had just unheard of personal issues, but we should be done by December 9. And thank you all in advance. Checks payable to First Presbyterian Church, just direct them to me. And thank you again, Grace.
I'll say more in December when we have the book. But Ellen, I couldn't even guess how many hours she has put in on this. And I don't know that she knows either, but I know how many it's been, day after day after day, for 2 years. You know, starting a year before we started. So anyway, thank you very much.
All to the glory of God. Thank you.
Now, Jane, how's our list of hostesses coming?
I was going to ask Gates if he needed a co-host, but he seems to have it under control
Okay.
in my conversation with him. January, we will come back after the holidays and need a hostess. Spring is looking good. April is the only month that doesn't have a
Okay.
host.
So January and April are the 2 months?
January and April.
Okay. Okay.
A co-host is always nice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Whatever works, thank you. Just leave it back on the table. I think that's the easiest way. People that want to sign up can just walk back to the table and take care of it. Thank you, Jane. Thanks for all your efforts, making sure we have good things to eat every month. That's always good. And Gates, thank you. It isn't mandatory that reviewers do refreshments, but it is appreciated. We are very honored to have Reverend Scott Simpson today with us. Unfortunately, Suzie was not able to make it, or she would be here with him. She read the book. She's with us in spirit, but she's working today. Scott has found time in his schedule to be with us again this year. He shares Christ's love every day as he visits and cares for those in need. He also oversees our deacons and Stephen ministers. So we want you to know, Scott, how much you are appreciated and loved by Literature Circle and this church.
Thank you.
I'm hoping we might get just a little update on the boys. We haven't heard anything for a year or so, so give us a little update before we head west with the Girraffes.
I like that. Very nice. Well, hello, everyone. How are you today? About the boys, Sam, our oldest, how old is Sam? 27. He's on the faculty at San Antonio Catholic High School. Is that what it's called? Yeah, on McCullough. He's been there for about a year and a half. Sam hasn't turned Catholic. That wouldn't be bad if he did. He just is teaching at a Catholic high school, and he's teaching computer science, which he didn't really study at Texas A&M. he was a history major and a media major, so he would do stuff like this that Edwin set up for us today with the camera. So Sam's learning something about teaching. He didn't plan to teach, so this is all brand new to him. He's also teaching robotics, which is a big subject for the high school. And the kids, he's learning more about himself. He's learning more about the kids there, and the faculty really loves him. He's happy. He's just saving money at the house. You know, rent is a little stiff still to rent a place, and we said you can stay as long as you want, and pile some money up and then take off. Zachary, middle son, is 25 now. Well, he's going to be, what's today, the 13th? 12. In 2 days, he'll be 25. Excuse me. His birthday is just around the corner. Zachary is applying to grad schools for a master's degree in some area of entomology. He was a horticulture entomology major at Texas A&M, a double major. So Zach feels compelled to work and study in that area. He'll know which school he's applied. He's applied to several, one of them at Texas A&M. I know he'll be received there. He had like a 3.98.
Oh, wow.
So that's not going to be any problem, I don't think, or perhaps anywhere else. What's the name? Y'all help me. It's a nursery that's in the 78209 area. It has the...
Shades of green.
Thank you. You knew before
On Sunset.
when I said 78209, that was the clue. Well, Zach works at the one on Sunset. He's there on staff. He's working part-time. I think he's headed towards full-time, and he loves it. He's already brought some plants home. He gets a 25% discount on, and I said, "Whoa, I'm gonna go show up at your store, Zach, and spend some money." Joshua, the baby, though he's no baby anymore, he is 22. He'll be 23 in May. Joshua graduated from UT in May, toward the end of May, and 3 days later started working at a big lab in Austin that processes blood and other body fluids and stuff like that. He's a biochemistry major, so he loves his work. He's getting, who's dating? Sam's not yet. Zach's got a girlfriend, has a serious girlfriend. Their parents are coming to our house for Thanksgiving, so Susie's got me working on the kitchen. I'm totally giving a facelift, not working on construction stuff. I'm just replacing hardware on the cabinetry and repainting the kitchen. This is all for Thanksgiving to impress the... I told Zach, I said, this is not going to impress the parents. This is going to impress Zach and Savannah, because they've been at the house and seen the kitchen, but I'm doing what I'm asked to do. Joshua is not dating anyone, though he's had some young ladies flirt with him, Benny, at work. And he's, anyway, that's what he's doing. Suzie still works at Edward Jones on 410 East. It's used to be the Chase Bank building. I think it's another bank building now. It's that 8-story that's almost at just before New Braunfels on the right. And it's a big Edward Jones financial office, and she's a branch office administrator, senior branch office administrator, and she works with 2 financial advisors. They manage somewhere over $350 million in the branch. So they let her off sometimes, but not today. So I'm sorry about that. Gates, our own Gates Whiteley, shared some pictures with me that I told him Suzie had shared with me on my phone I recognize these pictures. I didn't even check with Gates to verify, but there they are right there. See the picture, Gates? So these are some pictures some of you may have seen. These are actual pictures from the story. And I'm gonna pass two this way, and y'all can just kind of pass them and look at the pictures. You'll see the giraffes in the vehicle. I think that's good to pass them out now as we dig into the book. So did you enjoy the book? Yes. Easy read? Easy read. It never amazes me when, when y'all ask me to do a book review, Susie's already done like in 2 or 3 months, and she's got a Kindle Lite. That's how she likes to read the books. It took me a while to finally get to it, and I told her, I said, I'm sorry it took me so long because I had to put down a whole bunch of things and read. But I got it done, and this is my book review I offer you today. West with Girraffes by Lynda Rutledge is a heartwarming, charming, and at times, would you say heart-wrenching, historical novel that takes readers like you and I on an amazing journey across the American West in the 1930s. Based on a true story, Lynda Rutledge crafts a tale about an unforgettable and unlikely adventure, filled with a bunch of themes, really good themes, friendship, human connection to nature and animals, and even resilience. I've got several sections I cover, so I'm just going to kind of tell you what the sections are as I continue. I usually do this if I recall in the past. This is a little review of the plot. The novel begins in 1938 when two giraffes, they're young, endangered, recently acquired by the San Diego Zoo, are being transported across the United States from New York. The route is far from typical. As they are moved by truck, you see the pictures, they're making it around the room, and rail across a Depression-era landscape that is both beautiful and desolate at the same time. The protagonist of the story is a 17-year-old Woodrow Wilson Nichol, also known as Woody. You remember him? He's a penniless orphan who is hired to be a companion for these giraffes across their trek to the west. Woody lost his parents. He's still reeling from the loss of his parents and just simply the trauma of growing up during the Great Depression becomes deeply connected to the giraffes, especially a particularly spirited female named the giraffe or girl. Through Woody's eyes, readers like you and I are introduced to a wide variety of characters, from the determined and gritty zookeepers to the colorful personalities along the way. As Woody navigates this bizarre journey, he's forced to confront the ghosts of his past and wrestle with a future he never planned for to experience. Along the journey, the novel reflects on the fragility of life, the importance of empathy, and the extraordinary bonds that can form between humans and animals. That's what got my heart, was the connections between human and animals. Now a little bit about the characters and the themes. That, I think, is the heart of this book, West with Giraffes. The heart lies in its characters, particularly Woody. Rutledge skillfully develops Woody's character both through his inner monologue and his interactions with the giraffes. That was my favorite part, the interactions that he had with the giraffes. He's a different young man, a complex young man, full of anger, guilt, and grief, yet also capable of deep tenderness and care. It's personal growth, which you experience as you read the book over the course of the story, much of which is catalyzed by his relationship with the giraffes, is one of the most compelling aspects of the novel. The giraffes themselves are more than just animals in the story. They represent hope, innocence, and the fragility of life. They also act as a mirror to Woody's emotional journey, representing both his yearning for freedom and the possibility of healing and renewal. The connection he forms with the giraffe serves as a healing force, not only for him, but for others around him, demonstrating the power of unexpected relationships. The historical context of the 1930s Depression-era United States is also intricately woven into the narrative. The economic hardships of the time, the racial and social tensions, and the backdrop of the Dust Bowl all play a major role in shaping the world in which Woody and the giraffes travel. Rutledge's vivid descriptions of the landscapes and towns they pass through reflect her hard work in her research and attention to detail. A little sidebar, if you go to her website, perhaps many of you already have, you can read about all the research and information that went in, that she did before she wrote this book. And all this added depth to the story's setting. It helped you believe you were really there, right along with Woody and the giraffes. Now a little bit about writing style and tone. Rutledge's writing is both accessible. That's a question I think we answered earlier. Easy read. I've heard many of you say that. And it's lyrical too, with moments of deep poignancy and even some humor. The tone of the novel ranges from lighthearted to somber, striking a balance between the whimsical and the serious. Her portrayal of the natural world, especially the way Woody relates to the giraffes, is poetic, but without being overblown. The dialogue is authentic and sharp, and the pacing of the novel keeps you engaged as a reader, whether the plot is driving forward or taking a moment to reflect on all the emotional stakes that you experience in the story. Critique. While West with Giraffes is a beautifully written and emotionally resonant novel, there are a few moments where the plot can feel a bit predictable or perhaps overly sentimental. Secondary characters, while well crafted and drawn, occasionally fall into archetypal roles. Some of the narrative arcs are resolved in ways that feel maybe a bit too neat. However, these are all minor things, all minor critiques. They do little to take away from the impact of the story. You got to balance this out with a little bit of critique. No book is perfect. So, West with Giraffes is a deeply affecting and thought-provoking novel that combines historical fiction with a heartfelt exploration of human connection, resilience, and the natural world. Lynda Rutledge has crafted a memorable, if at times bittersweet, story that will appeal to readers who enjoy historical fiction, animal lovers, both those two, and anyone seeking a story about finding hope. That's every one of us in this room. We're all looking for hope in the most unlikely of places. It's a tale of love and loss, of growth and healing, and above all, a reminder that even in the harshest of times, like during the Great Depression, the journey forward is often what makes life worth living. West with Giraffes is a must-read for fans of poignant and beautifully written fiction with a historical twist. Thus ends my review. If if there are any more books out there that are about animals, hint, hint, you know who to ask. One of the joys I have about being here with you all is being with you, but when I go home, there are a lot of pets at my house. There are other children. And it's always our dog. We have one dog now. Her sister we had to put down in December, just joints, and she couldn't do her. She was losing her dignity, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I told her that. I asked her to tell me when, but she couldn't do that, so I had to make that decision. We have a dog who always greets me. Sometimes now, she's going on 15 years old.
Wow.
What's strange now with Mel is she's losing her hearing. So I often walk in the door and close the door, and I turn and look on the sofa, and there's a blanket on it, and she's asleep. She can't even hear me come in the door anymore. But when I go greet her, she's very happy to see me. The cats, when they see me walk in the door, they turn their head and look the other way. And then they try to make it up to me later by begging for treats in the kitchen. And I go, why should I do that? I tease them for a little bit and then sit down, and I'm surrounded by 3 cats and a dog at my feet. So I'm never alone unless I'm in the bathroom, maybe. So anyway, the point is I love animals. Always have. I think that's played a huge role in my growth and development as not only a person, but as a pastor. Because I've learned, a lot of those things that Woody learned, and we learned from Woody in this book, that animals play a huge role the way God teaches us about love. So, I get the question sometimes, will our pets be in heaven? And I go, yes, they will. And you know why? Because you love them. They love you, and you love them back. And love never ends. Yeah, they'll be back. We'll see them all again. And those connections, those relationships will be renewed. That's a promise. Thanks for letting me do this. I enjoyed it. Robert.
So you already answered my question in the last part of that, but loving dogs, and I know you're expert on that. But we lost our Daisy of 16 in the 4th years 2 years ago, and the question was going to be, do you believe loving dogs have spirits? And the story I have quickly is Eloise, my daughter that lives with me, was saying, well, this dog came into my room, in the dream she had, and it was, I didn't specifically recognize what dog it was, but it was just friendly and sweet, and then the dog went out into the backyard, which incidentally is where we buried Daisy, but he went out through the nearest door to the exit from her bedroom and went out. Well, I said, well, that's funny, Eloise. I was daydreaming or night dreaming, rather, waking up in the middle of the night. And again, there was a loving presence of a dog that by my bed, that just the snout of the dog came up to the side of the bed, and I could hear the breathing of the dog. And that's all. I mean, again, it wasn't particularly Daisy, but it was like Daisy, a loving presence of a dog. And so I said, that is something, to think, of a dog having a spirit like that, because with 2 people thinking of it at the same time like that, I hate to sound superstitious, and maybe this isn't properly Presbyterian or whatever. But
okay.
It really was a serious evidence in my mind, that dogs have spirits, especially special dogs like Daisy.
Yeah. And that's what we fall in love with. You know, I mean, that's what I fall in love with easy. I've got a lot of pets in my memory that have, they're already gone to heaven, and I miss every one of them. And I keep them all on the pictures on the refrigerator door in the kitchen. I just remember them. We came here with a white German Shepherd named Gracie, and she was 14 when we moved. So we keep pets for a long time. But that's part of my journey of faith. I keep pets close, and I think it's helped me be a better person personally. Growing up on a dairy farm, that's a whole other arena. I mean, I learned a lot about myself and about cows and milk and manure and flies and all kinds of yuck. That was another life. But I grew up in a setting where it's kind of like Woody in a way. I didn't live in a big city. I lived in the country off of a main highway, and we grew our own food. We went to the grocery store, but we always had a half acre to an acre garden that always had vegetables all year long, and we just did stuff like that. Sweet corn, if you've ever had good sweet corn, but we always had a pet close. When we came here, the boys started diving into lizards, all kinds of lizards. I'll have to confess, that was a little awkward. Some lizards, and I'm talking the big lizards, they had cages, and so the boys would feed them and take care of them. But if they got sick just a little bit, they died just in a hurry, in a heartbeat. And the boys would grieve over them. We'd have a funeral service for them in the backyard. Dad, will you say something? Of course, I'll say something. Sure. Glad to. And remember the pet, and I mean, those were moments that's part of our family threads. Our cloth we spun, or the Lord spun, is a better way to say it. So I'm glad to review books. I can review other books, but I really, really, really love stories like this. It's very meaningful to me. So any other questions?
Well, I just wanted to say, I thought this was such an interesting story because I wondered, especially after seeing the photos that came around, how those giraffes made it across country. That would not be done today. I mean, you wonder how they survived the trip. And if I had a chance to speak to the author, I would ask her what you prompted her to write a novel from this story. I thought it was really interesting on her part as an author to elaborate like she did and bring up so many of the things that you spoke about, the different themes that she discussed and brought up in the book. But last spring, we were in San Diego right after I'd read this book, and we went to the zoo. And of course I had to go see the giraffes, and there is a sign there because the giraffes now that are at the San Diego Zoo are descendants of these giraffes that made that first journey. So I thought that was very interesting.
Wow.
Well, can you imagine the giraffe side of the story? First they're so tall and unwieldy, and where they roped, tied in so they wouldn't fall, but also the whack of that canvas on the truck. Can you imagine how they felt after 2 miles?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't imagine.
And then they said they hummed. Did you know giraffes hummed?
I didn't know that either.
Nobody ever told me that.
I always thought that I get them mixed up with llamas. Was it llamas who spit?
Yeah, they spit.
Yeah, but not giraffes.
I've never gotten real close to a giraffe, but wouldn't that be wonderful to bring one to work with you one day?
I would love that.
You know, when I was in Australia, we went to visit a nursery for kangaroos, you know, because quite often the mother gets killed and the joey gets rescued. And I held a kangaroo, they put a sack around my neck, and this kangaroo was there, and you had 4 feet and a tail sticking out. And that's how they take care of those babies. But wouldn't it be fun to have a giraffe? Or go somewhere and just shake hands, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, his standpoint, you know, that was a long, long trip across the U.S. And then he came through Texas. You know, he came to the up in your place.
Amarillo.
Yeah, and, you know, they park under a tree so the giraffe could eat. Now, ain't that clever?
It's clever, but you know, the first thought that came in my head, what trees?
Right,
Sure, go ahead, Gates.
Just a thought that, and I'm curious if anyone else felt this way. Early on, the author allowed the reader, didn't direct the reader, didn't force the reader, didn't lead the reader, but allowed the reader to figure out that Woody was going to be very good with the giraffes. And I thought that was an amazing result of her writing. She drew your attention to the giraffes and their behavior, and that clued you in right away. Woody's going to get along with them.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And let that relationship or connection with the giraffes
Yeah.
just naturally happen.
Right.
And then as that natural connection happened, we're right there with Woody and we're connected too.
She let love happen.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's good. Anybody else?
Something I loved as a historian, just the notion of going across the country during the Depression and having so many have the compassion to provide food and a place to park in the tree. But I thought that was lovely, going across the country and just, when people had nothing, they shared.
They share. That's
I
right.
love the compassion side.
Yeah, compassion, empathy, testament to human beings.
Exactly.
I mean, we help each other be resilient through, you know, depression-like times, but
They
also,
had nothing,
yeah, but also depression-like times in our relationships. Those can happen too.
certainly,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And they're there for a reason. You may not have expected them, but they show up. So what are you going to do with them?
Exactly.
I need to ask a question. Has anybody ever been kissed by a giraffe?
No.
I have.
You have?
I have.
They have the softest faces and blue tongues.
They do. They do. It wasn't
I was in
here.
Africa, and right
Yeah.
outside of Johannesburg, there is a wonderful old English manor house called Giraffe Manor. And it's home to giraffes. And it's a big, tall building which has beautiful rooms, and the giraffes wake you up in the morning, and their windows are, you know, tall, very tall, taller than those. They poke their heads into your window, and they sort of hum at you to wake you up. And then you go down to breakfast, and they come and you give them little pellets through the window. And it's just magical.
Oh, it would be.
I mean, they are the most wonderful. If I could adopt one, bring one home, I would. It's a wonderful animal, and they're very sweet.
Yeah, they are. They are. I haven't seen or met a mean giraffe yet.
Do they kick? Do they kick?
I imagine they could. They have those
Yeah,
long.
They do kick if they're mad. They have a real, I mean, they can stop you for a loop. But they don't. They're really sweet.
Great story. Great book.
Yeah.
Karen.
I just have a memorable time with a giraffe. we were going through one of these animal parks in California where you drive through with your own vehicle and a recorder telling about it. And I was fooling around with my camera, and we were in a Volkswagen van, and the giraffe put his head in and spit all over my teddy. My husband didn't get it as much as I did because the giraffe's neck came all the way in, and I got it just grew, and I didn't get the picture of the giraffe, and I was concerned about other things at the time.
You got drooled on.
A lot.
I don't know where the pictures landed, but,
Right here.
okay, very good. Oh, good. Here's your container, if you like it.
Well, I don't need them back.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
These are,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
I just told him I had a couple things to say to him. I probably should have asked permission before, but I just want you to know, we've had the discussion about what happens to dogs after they die. So I knew where you stood on that. You have no idea how many people I told that to that have lost an animal. So I hope it's all right that I'm quoting you all over the place.
Of course it is. Of course
I
it is.
have a good minister friend in Michigan who absolutely, nope, doesn't happen. So I'm so glad. Thank you, Scott.
I hinge it on love.
Yes,
That-
I like that and it makes sense.
That love never ends. If that's what Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 13, why shouldn't it apply to animals too?
Why not? Yes, I agree. I have one more giraffe story to add, and it's a little different side, and this was my African giraffe story. Why, on a safari, we were taking a break, so we were all out of the Jeep, and we were to stay right around the Jeep. But of course, there's always one tourist that, oh no, she had her camera, she and her daughter, and they saw a whole, I don't know what you call a whole group of giraffe. I don't know what they are, herd, flock, I don't know what they are, but there was a group of them. She just takes off with her daughter, way away from him, from us, from everything to get a picture. And he immediately, once he saw, started running for her. And the rest of us were standing back there watching. And the one giraffe, who kind of seemed like the head guy, turned around and saw her coming. And he spread his two front legs totally apart, which allowed him to get down a lot lower. Not totally in her face, but I mean, and I don't think there's any question he would have attacked her. He was protecting his group, his family, or whoever he was with. She was not going to come any closer. She did stop. She took a picture, however, and yeah, it was very dangerous for all of us, according to our guide, for that to happen, because it could have started a real stampede of giraffes and everything. And he wasn't back with there. We were all alone back there. And anyway, so that's what I can add to that. That I think, like any animal or any of us, will protect who we love from whoever's coming.
You were correct to say herd. It is a herd of giraffes. That's a scientific name for a group of giraffes, but there's more. There is something called a tower of giraffes, which is a term used when giraffes are standing still. Then there is a journey of giraffes, the term used when giraffes are moving or running. And it's very apt because it describes how giraffes move through their typical habitats of grasslands, woodlands, and savannas. The word giraffe comes from the Arabic word zarafah, which means, quote, he who walks swiftly, end quote.
Walks quickly.
Interesting.
That's,
Well, that was
Thanks to
definitely a
Google.
tower. These giraffes were not moving. This was a tower because they had trees there. They were feeding.
Tower
And
giraffe.
they were stationary. So, anything more on giraffes? I'm loving all the stories. This is great. If not, I am going to Suzanne West,
our librarian and friend, has asked to have a couple words with you, so I'm gonna call her up now before we close.
As some of you may know, I work with Beach House, and we still have a few children and young adults that need sponsors for the Christmas presents. We'll need all of this by the 2nd of December. It involves spending maybe no more than $100 and getting no more than 5 presents. If anybody's interested, let me or Morgan Fuller know. And we'll be happy to give you the name and what they would like to get. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. It's always good to hear of the needs around us. And can you all believe Christmas is coming quickly? Because we lost a month. I can't believe it's November. So anyway, speaking.
Grace, another plug for the 50th anniversary book. Bring your check in December if you want a book. Thank you.
December 10th is our date next month, and that will be when Gates not only is providing refreshments, but also is going to talk to us about the Holy Spirit, the air we breathe. I've already read it, loved the book, and so we look forward to having you, and we appreciate you. Yes?
And he'll have books.
Oh, you're going to bring books with you? Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good. We appreciate that. Anything else that anybody wants to share or anything? Okay. Well, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone. And we'll see you next month on the 10th. Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you.